And we start with some breaking news out of Moscow, where a bomb hidden in an electric scooter has killed a senior Russian general. That's according to Russia's investigative committee. The blast on Monday morning took place outside of an apartment block a few kilometers from the Kremlin. Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov and an assistant were killed. Kirilov was the head of Russia's nuclear, biological and chemical protection forces. Ukraine's security services just yesterday charged Kirilov with using banned chemical weapons during Russia's war efforts. Moscow authorities say a criminal investigation into the apparent killing has been opened. Let's bring in Juri Rescheto, DW's Riga bureau chief. Juri, what else do we know so far?
Well, as you said, Gerhard, an explosion happened on Ryazansky Avenue, Ryazansky Prospect in Moscow on the morning of December 17th, so today earlier. The Russian investigative committee said that the two men were killed in this incident. There are two Russian servicemen were leaving the entrance of a house on this Ryazansky Prospect around 6 o'clock in the morning when a homemade bomb device detonated. According to media reports, the bomb was either attached or embedded in a scooter. The explosion blew out windows from the first to the third floors of the house and damaged the entrance door. And according to media reports, the general's car was also damaged.
Now, who was Kirilov? What exactly was his job?
Well, Igor Kirillov was the head, you said it, of the radiation, chemical and biological defense forces or protection forces of the Russian armed forces. Kirillov is known for holding briefings of the Russian Defense Ministry since 2023, in which, among other things, he spoke about some sort of so-called military biological activities of the United States in Ukraine. The press spokeswoman for the Russian Foreign Ministry, Zakharova, she has already condemned his death and praised him in particular as someone who, she said, exposed, and I quote, exposed the crimes of the Anglo-Saxons and NATO provocations with the alleged US bioweapons laboratories in Ukraine. It should be remembered or noted that Russian propaganda has been trying for years to convince the Russian audience, the Russian population, that the USA allegedly maintains deadly chemical bioweapons laboratories in Ukraine in an attempt to justify its own war there.
Now, any idea who might be behind this apparent attack?
Well, as you said, the investigative committee initiated or opened a criminal case on the fact of the incident. The Moscow prosecutor's office took the case under control. No one has claimed responsibility for the crime. There are also no concrete leads, so we should be very careful about pointing the finger. Of course, in times of war, people tend to blame the other side when it comes to the murder, especially of such an important general, which would be Ukraine in the war between Russia and Ukraine. But as I said, we have to be careful and at least wait for the first results of the investigation. In any case, what comes in mind is a similar explosion 2 years ago near Moscow. Daria Dugina, the daughter of the influential right-wing nationalist philosopher Alexander Dugin, was killed back then in a car explosion. And there was another explosion in St. Petersburg a year later in a cafe. On that day, a well-known Russian military blogger was killed and at least 25 other guests were injured.
Thank you very much. Juri Rescheto there reporting.